Good afternoon, everyone. It's the March. Welcome back to my channel. And today's video is going to be a review on this past Monday night. Now, as I said before, I don't really watch the show like that anymore. I do watch the pay-per-views, so maybe I'll just take some notes on it. But I know that sounds weird because, like, you know, how could you watch this? How could you watch the pay-per-views but you don't watch the show? I do keep up with the show. As I always mention, I watch certain people like JD from NY 206 on YouTube. I watch sometimes BC Amplified on here from YouTube. For those of you that may know who he is, if y'all know who he is, if y'all know who either of these guys are, they're good peoples when it comes to talking about pro wrestling. So look them up. BC Amplified, JD from NY 206. If I could, I'll probably leave their pages in my description below. Yeah, I don't watch the show, but I keep up with them. You know, I watch JD on a daily basis when it comes to, like, reviewing. And when, you know, I watched his show. Actually, I watched his show because I went to bed early last night because I wanted to get enough sleep. So I went to bed early and I woke up this morning wanting to watch the show to see what happened. And I also watched, you know, clips from all their YouTube page, WWE's YouTube page. So I just got finished watching some clips. So as I did before for SmackDown last week, I'm not gonna go over it fully. I'm just gonna go over the important parts of the show. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm thinking about maybe doing the same thing with AEW. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking about doing that. So I'll see when that happens for their show tomorrow night, Dynamite. So yeah. But yeah, today's review is gonna be about Monday Night Raw. I believe they were in Canada, Montreal. I can't pronounce it right. Montreal. I think I did. They was in was they in Montreal? I don't know. Is Sami from Montreal? No, I think he's from some part of. He might be. I can't look it up because I don't have a laptop. But I know he's from somewhere. They was in Sami Zayn's hometown. But yeah, the show started off, I believe the show started off with the WWE Universal Undisputed Champion, Cody Rhodes. And he started talking about, honestly, I don't know what he talked about. I just know that it got to the part where he was talking to Jey Uso because I seen that part. So I didn't really know what he was talking about if he came out. But I know what him and Jey Uso was discussing. And him and Jey Uso was like, you know, they was doing a little yeet thing. Yeet. And it was like, you know, Cody was basically saying, you helped me win the Universal World Heavyweight, the WWE Universal Undisputed Championship. So the least I can do is help you. And And Jey Uso was basically like saying, I appreciate it, but I want to do this myself. And he started getting the crowd in the yeet chant, like how they do the what chant. So every time he would say something, they were saying yeet. And instead of saying what, they were saying yeet. So it was just so weird. And it's like, even Pat McAfee and Michael Cole was in on it. And they were saying some crazy stuff. And it's just like Michael Cole, I just love how Triple H is allowing the commentary team to just be themselves I'm pretty sure he's still in their ears like how Vince was, but not like how Vince was. If you get what I'm saying. Like they're more able to, he's probably not, as a matter of fact, he's probably not even in their ear. He probably just lets them talk how they want to talk. Like, and it's so good to see them like that. It's so good to finally see Michael Cole, be free when he's talking. I believe that's what he said. So I'm not sure if he's in their ear or at some points of the matches, or he's just not in their ear completely, which is a good thing because it's so good to see them actually just out there. You could just tell they're just enjoying themselves. So I like that. But they were just saying the word yeet all over the place. And it was like, this one throw-off part was the end of the conversation with Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. And he was like, before you left the ring, he was like, oh yeah, one more thing. And then he took a long pause. And then he was like, he was like, until we yeet again. It was just like, what? Until we yeet again? So it was a cool moment. Rhea Ripley, like I said, I'm not going over everything, but Rhea Ripley, she had to relinquish her title because of the attack from Liv Morgan's revenge tour, as she likes to call it. So she had to vacate the title. And I like how Rhea Ripley stayed in character. She didn't get sad. I mean, of course she was probably sad backstage, but on TV, she didn't show any emotion like that. She didn't show any sad emotion. She was angry. She was upset that she had to relinquish the title. So that happened, and then she just started, she took a long pause after dropping, saying that the title meant everything to her. And then she drops the title, how they always laid across the ring. And she just took a long pause. And you could see it in her face like she was angry. And then she was like, she started talking about Liv Morgan, talking about her revenge tour. It was like, the revenge tour, this is why I'm in this predicament, because of you. And I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I get it. I understand it's wrestling. And that was just an accident that Liv Morgan did. I'm pretty sure that wasn't supposed to happen. I'm pretty sure she was just supposed to attack her and whatever. Get it over with. But, unfortunately, she got hurt. She got injured. Now, we don't know how bad the injury is. We don't know how serious it is. It's just that, she's going to be out for a little while. But I look at it as, the part where she said, you attacked me like a coward instead of facing me because you knew I was going to drop you down where you stand. And I'm like, why would she say that, knowing that she did the same thing last year to Liv Morgan that took her out for months? She blindsided her, attacked her without her even knowing. So why are you getting upset at her for basically getting her revenge, getting her payback? So I just thought that was so weird. But again, I like how they kept her serious. They didn't have her out there, sobbing and having watery eyes, even though I'm pretty sure she did that backstage. But I like how they kept her serious. And it's just, if you look at it from where she was a couple years ago, back when they had the WrestleMania Performance Center. Like, that was the WrestleMania Performance Center that they had when they had WrestleMania 36 inside the Performance Center, because that's when the the sickness first came around, the CV. I didn't say the actual words, so I hope I can get away with that. But yeah, I just felt like she shouldn't have lost that match with Charlotte Flair. She should have won that. But of course, Vince didn't want somebody from down under in NXT coming up and defeating his golden child in Charlotte Flair. So you knew that was going to happen. But I like how Triple H took her from what Vince did to her and made her into something. And it's going to be really good to see what's going to happen to the Judgment Day. Because remember, Rhea Ripley was the one that was always making sure the Judgment Day stayed on the same page. Every time Damian Priest would argue with Finn Balor or vice versa, or Damian Priest argues with JD McDonough, vice versa, she would always bring them back together. So it's really going to be telling of what's going to happen to the Judgment Day now that Rhea Ripley is no longer going to be around to keep them afloat if they seem to argue, which I'll get into in a little while because it kind of happened later on in the night. So yeah, it's going to be really hard. It's going to be really hard for WWE to replace her as champion. And it's like, I don't understand why they're crowning a new champion so quickly as of next week. Like, why? Why not maybe do a tournament or maybe wait a little while? Like, why you gotta do it so quickly? I don't get it. I don't get why they gotta do it so fast. They don't really have the talent to replace, not saying that they're gonna, because nobody can replace her right now, but it's gonna be like, what you gonna give the title to Becky Lynch? Quite sure nobody wants that. Nobody wanted her to win the title at WrestleMania. Nobody wants that. Liv Morgan, come on now. I'm a fan of Liv Morgan, but I don't think she's ready to be in that position of holding the title right now. I don't think she's ready for that. Nia Jax, maybe. I mean, Nia Jax has been doing some decent work since she's came back. You know, she's been booked actually decent, maybe even good, since she's been back. So maybe I can see them giving the title to her. But, you know, you got a draft coming up, so it's like, why not wait until the draft? And then do a tournament for like maybe, because I think the draft is going to be after Backlash. So, yeah, why not just do a tournament? It's just weird. But I guess I trust Paul Levesque. I trust Triple H because he's been doing a good job since he's been head of creative and, you know, really has the pin on everything that involves WWE right now. So I trust Triple H to do a good job. Now the revealing of before I get to that, I don't know when this match was, but Seamus came back. I didn't watch the full match. I just watched highlights of it. I heard that he may have got his old theme song by Jim Johnson back. Or it's like a mix-up. I mean, that's what I heard. So I don't know, really. But I heard he got some sort of his old theme song back by Jim Johnson. Which is good. I mean, Def Rebel is terrible. I mean, there's only like maybe a couple songs I like from Def Rebel. Like, yeah, it's just like, well, I don't know. But, yeah. So he went up against Ivar of the Viking Raiders, and, you know, he wins. Of course, he's not gonna lose on his first match back. So he wins he did a white noise from the second rope. And it's like, or did he do it from the top rope? I'm not sure. I just watched it, but sometimes I can forget right away. But he did a white noise from the top rope, and that's how he won. So yeah, congratulations on him getting, you know, back into it. You know, Seamus always says he gives us banger after banger after banger after banger. So, tag titles. I honestly like the unveil of the tag titles. I do feel like it's too similar, but I get what Triple H is probably gonna be doing, because he's gonna keep that pattern of all titles looking the same, but not all titles looking the same. Meaning all titles on Raw are gonna be similar, but all titles on SmackDown are gonna be similar. And it's like, it was like how I predicted and how other people predicted it, that they were going to have the world titles on Raw and the WWE titles on SmackDown. Seeing that these tag team titles are finally back to being gold this time, let's get that out the way. It's no longer looking like a dime and a quarter with the silver plates. It's now back to looking like a championship because they look like, it looks similar to the men's and women's titles because they both look the same. So both the men's world title and the women's world title is the same. It's just with different straps. So it's basically like a mixture of those titles. Just the difference is it has, you know, a red label on it as well that says tag team, you know, tag team title, tag team championships with the red label, and it has the same WWE logo that's on the world title, that's on the men's and women's world title. But except being black, the circle is red instead of being, you know, black. So they look good. I like the look of them, but it's like, okay, those tag team titles look similar to the men's and women's world titles. So how is the SmackDown titles gonna look? Are they gonna look similar to the women's and the men's WWE championships? So I guess we'll have to see this Friday night on SmackDown how their titles are gonna look. I seen floating online around how the SmackDown titles are gonna look. It was like a Photoshop picture of how the SmackDown titles are gonna look because the world titles on Raw look similar to the men's and women's world titles. So somebody photoshopped a picture of the plate of the men's WWE championship on a title and made it look like that was gonna be the championship. It was just funny, you know how the internet does. But yeah, that I can like, it's gonna be telling. It's gonna be real telling of how the tag team titles for SmackDown are gonna look. So we'll see. I was hoping Triple H was going to just do away with all these championships that look the same and just give us, you know, actual championships that look like championships. So I can't wait to see that. And was the Jey Uso and Finn Balor match happening. And this is what I mentioned earlier when I said, this was happening. So again, I didn't watch this match. I didn't watch the match in full, but I did watch some of it. And Jey Uso won by giving Finn Balor a Uso splash, and they just cut away. And Damian Priest, because I was watching the highlights of the match, so they cut away, and then Damian Priest was right there, standing on the ring apron, and then he got into the ring, and Finn Balor was just still sitting there, like up against the ropes, like just laying there, looking up. And then Damian Priest was like just staring, and like they were just, and Jey Uso was saying something, and then all of a sudden, JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio jumped him from behind, and Finn Balor gets up, they started jumping him, and then all of a sudden, Priest looks at him like, "What are y'all doing? Like, what are y'all doing? So it's like, I feel like Damian Priest is probably going to go babyface. Because like I said, there's no Rhea Ripley. There's not going to be no Rhea Ripley coming to save the Judgment Day from imploding, as they say. So I think Damian Priest, at this stage, I feel like he should go babyface. Like, just, the fans are starting to like him. Even Rhea Ripley. I really don't feel like Rhea Ripley should come back as a heel, even though she might. But I think they should turn her into a babyface as well, because it's like, the fans love her. Like, I was surprised that, I mean, there was some boos, but there really wasn't any boos when Liv Morgan came out. Which, I didn't talk about that yet, so I will be talking about that. So, yeah, he gets, they jump him. Jey Uso fights back. And Jey Uso goes out the ring and they chase after him. He jumps over the rope. He jumps over the barricade. JD McDonough jumps over the barricade after him, turns around, starts beating up him, takes him, throws him back over the barricade, and runs off. And Priest is just, getting on the top rope and just looking at Jey Uso. So that's how that ended. And Rhea Ripley, she comes out. I think I talked about that. Did I talk about that? Like I said, my mind is everywhere. I'll probably look back on this and see that I did talk about it. But she came out saying that she was told that she had to relinquish her title because she was going to be out for a little while. As a matter of fact, I think I did mention that. Or I told pieces of it. So, matter of fact, no. But she came out and she was like that she had to relinquish her title. And that she was going to be out for a few months. And the crowd was saying, the crowd started being like, boo, started booing because they didn't want her to go. And it was, yelling, bullshit, bullshit. Of course, when I watched it on YouTube, I guess it's from USA. I don't think it's from actually YouTube. But, USA, they bleep the words out. So it's like, bull, bull, bull. Like, come on now. Can't wait till they go to Netflix. Because then it's like, when they go to Netflix, they're probably not going to get censored out. But, yeah, she says she had to relinquish the belt. And, she said she worked hard for it, and it just makes her upset. And she even agreed with the crowd that it was bullshit. Like I mentioned, I like the fact that they kept her in character and they didn't allow her to break down. Because I'm pretty sure inside she was feeling that way. Quite sure inside she was feeling emotional because she had to give up the title. So then, matter of fact, I think I did mention it. And then Liv Morgan, because she started talking about Liv Morgan, and then Liv Morgan came out with security, and Liv Morgan, after she started talking about Liv Morgan and saying that she's gonna come back, and she's gonna, when she sees Liv Morgan backstage, she's gonna beat her so bad that she's gonna wind up in the Montreal jail. So yeah, Liv Morgan comes out. She's laughing. They actually got security trying to hold back Liv Morgan. Like, really? Little Liv Morgan? Y'all having security? Like, this is a big, like, I get it. I understand, but it's not that big. I'm sorry. It's just not that big. Come on now. So Liv Morgan comes out. She's laughing. And it's like, Rhea Ripley tells her, come on, you want to fight me? Come on. And then she gets out the ring. Adam Pearce is already out the ring, trying to make sure they don't come in contact with each other. And as as Liv Morgan is going back in the back, she's still standing, Rhea Ripley's still standing there, security around her. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she just headbutts right in the chest one of the security guards. Like she just headbutts him right in the chest. Excuse me. So it's funny. That moment was funny to me because you got the other two security guards that was, around her as well, looking at the one that she put down. And it was like, they was just looking. Like, they wasn't even like they was just looking. So that's how that ended. And I already talked about the tag team titles. The segment was also hilarious too because, it's R-Truth. R-Truth is just being R-Truth. I mean, I've seen people say like, oh, R-Truth deserves better. R-Truth is like 50 years old, 50 plus years old now probably. And he's just having a good time. He's just happy to have TV time. That's why I never was disliked by him, like, cause it's like he's just having a good time. And he referred to, I think, I didn't watch the full segment, but I know that I believe he referred to Triple H as Tommaso Ciampa, because lately he's been he's been looking at DIY as D-Generation X. Tommaso Ciampa as Triple H and Johnny Gargano as Shawn Michaels. So that's just a funny thing right there. It's R-Truth. Everything that he does is just hilarious. It is funny. So, the main event was Sami and Chad Gable. Now, with this match, I like the way they had Sami come out, being that this was his hometown, and how they do things now in WWE with certain people. It started off with his music playing, and he was in the back with Jey Uso. He was in the back talking to Jey Uso, and he was telling him the same way. He was like, the same way I entered in this arena on my debut is the same way I'm gonna come. It's gonna be the same way I come out there now. I go out there right now. So he daps up Jay, starts, walking down. The cameras following him. People around the concession stands or whatnot, they all going crazy. And then he comes right through the crowd with, the fans, and he grabs somebody's Canadian flag and puts it around his shoulder and just walks, puts it on his back and just walks down to the ring through the crowd. So that was a good entrance for him. His wife was there, I believe his wife. I don't know who else was there, but I know when I seen the highlight of the match, I believe his wife was there. Maybe some other members of his family was there. I don't know if his son was there. I believe his son might have been there. I'm not sure. But it was a good entrance. The match was good. I didn't watch the match in full, but the match was good. The part I'm only want to talk about is the ending, the post-match attack, the heel turn, as they say, on Sami from Chad Gable. And it was just so good. Like you knew it was going to happen, because the fact that he couldn't get the job done with, he couldn't get the job done with Gunther. So seeing Sami do what he couldn't do, that pissed him off. That set him off. And the fact that he had one more shot at the title and he lost again, that set him off. And the way they started it was just perfectly done. The fact that he just, as he's kissing and celebrating with his wife, he comes up from behind him, does his Chad Gable German suplex. And it's like, it was just perfection. Started beating him up all over the place. Looks back at his wife. And it's like, right after he does the German suplex, he gets up and looks back at, Sami's wife. And picks up Sami, throws him into the steel steps. Picks him up again, throws him into the ring post. Picks him up again, throws him into the announce table. Picks him up again, throws him back into the ring. And then, he didn't get back into the ring, I believe. He got back onto the apron. Or maybe Sami did get back into the ring, and Chad Gable just stood up on the apron because he was close to it. And he just threw him into the corner, into the ring post again. And then gave him the ankle lock. From what I've seen, it looked like it was a good show. It wasn't a sellout. I did see, from not even just from the last match, but from, the other matches I've seen parts of and segments, it wasn't a sellout. So they stopped the sellouts. The streak of the sellout shows, is over and done with now. No longer is the streak continuing. But it was a packed house, though. It just wasn't a sellout. But it was a packed house. But from what I've seen, it looked like it was a good show. I like how the tag team titles look. Do I think they should have went a different route? Yeah, because if you really think about it, look at the world title, the women's title, and the men's titles in NXT. They look the same. They just got different straps. Or maybe they got the same strap. I'm not sure. But, yeah. Tag team titles, they kind of look the same, but they're a little different. So I kind of knew what Triple H was going to do with the main roster. But they do look 10 times better than what they recently had with the Raw tag team titles. So now we just have to wait and see what they do with the SmackDown tag team titles and how their titles are going to look. But overall, seemed like a decent show. It's better than what we was getting just over a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So I'm not complaining. It's better. It's better television. And yeah. So it was a good show. I do want to mention that I believe Thursday I have a scheduled meeting pod at the library. So I do want to make a couple videos on that day because I do have a little bit of ideas to do. But they're not gonna be all in one video. I'm probably gonna make 2 videos in one day and just break them up. But it's gonna be basically the same, just different categories. Like I wanna talk about my Mount Rushmore of pro wrestling, WWE mainly because AEW just started, so it's like I don't really wanna make a Mount Rushmore of them yet because it's like they haven't got an established roster yet. They only been out for half of a decade. So there's no need to make a Mount Rushmore of them yet. But for WWE, I will make my Mount Rushmore of all the decades I've watched wrestling. This isn't going to be just one decade. I was thinking about doing that, but then I was like, you know what? I like a few wrestlers of today. So I'm not going to just say my Mount Rushmore, which is the Attitude Era, and the modern, the Ruthless Aggression Era. But I'm also going to give y'all in this era and maybe even add a few from AEW. So, yeah. It's not going to be all AEW, but it'll be a little bit of AEW, mostly WWE. And so look forward to that. And also a Mount Rushmore of music, hip-hop and R&B. So look forward to that. In the meantime, hope you all enjoy your day. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your night, wherever you are, wherever you catch this. Whenever you catch it, it's going to be up right away. I'm going to edit this and add a thumbnail and intro to it right away. So, yeah. Enjoy your day. Thumbs up. Just like this show was. Thumbs up show. Like I said, I don't know. I'm thinking about doing an AEW Dynamite review. I'm not sure. You'll know whenever I do it. Follow me on my social media pages right there. And I was actually able to get back into my old account, the one that I have posted on my banner. I was actually able to get back on that. I found out why I couldn't get on my Instagram because I guess I said something inappropriate, so I got my account taken away, but I was able to receive it back. So all that is over and done with. But yeah, follow me on my social media pages. Enjoy your day and stay positive. Peace and love.